in your whole being and doing, manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter.
Ganas. Beautifully, Bhagavan said, power manifestation is a cognitive shift from what we understand as body and mind and to the space of oneness, conscious sovereignty as our reality, as the shift that happens in us, is the science of our manifestation. It is a science because each one can experience it and all of us can make it happen again and again, all the powers of Paramashiva. The evidences supporting the science of our manifestation, the scriptural evidences, Shastra Pramana, the eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas, Apta Pramana, the experience and the results of the Aptas, the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, Siddhas, all of them, millions of them are authority of Hinduism who have been in the human body, experienced the conscious sovereignty as their reality and manifested as powers. The Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of each power manifestation, Bhagavan very own Leelas, manifesting from the human to superconscious, how he plays the Leela for us to understand how that can be manifested as reality. And he showcased that so that we catch it in our biomemory. Shakshi Pramana, the experience of the millions of disciple, devotees, followers all around the world, manifesting the powers of Paramashiva, initiated by Bhagavan himself. Bhagavan very clearly says, whoever comes to the Kailash courtyard, I myself will be there, manifesting through each one of us. Like in a temple, you go and see the Garbha Mandir. After that, you receive the prasada. Each one of us have to receive the prasada. That is exactly the science of our manifestation. You experiencing the conscious sovereignty as your reality. Each one of us have to manifest the ultimate science. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Bhagavan has beautifully shown us that thoughtless space is quite possible for all of us, whether Balasans, devotee, disciple, or Bhagavan himself have scientifically shown clearly that thoughtless space, that is the real peace that we can experience as eternal peace, eternally how we exist as reality. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana, the eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and Agamas. The Shiva Samhita 5.8384.
And gave the method of how to do the samyama on light and simply how we will the self-effulgent light inside the pramana.
This Shastra Pramana is taken from the Shiva Samhita 5.83. Jnananya cha pratimam tasya trikala vishayam bhavet dura shrishti dura drishti swechaya kagatam vrajet Jnananya cha pratimam tasya trikala vishayam bhavet dura shrishti dura drishti swechaya kagatam vrajet.
Bhagavan Paramashiva beautifully says the scriptural reference for the power of clairvoyance. He gets immeasurable experience, knowledge, knows the past, present, future, time. The Dura Drishti and Dura Shrishti, one who can see at a far off distance, one who can listen at a far off distance. Kagatam, one who can walk on air, move in air. And one who can speak, the ability to on any subject, omniscience, All these are the dimensions of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan beautifully says how we can manifest the ultimate conscious sovereignty as our reality. The conscious sovereignty is the very existence, how we manifest our life. But we get deluded by all the things that we have. The families do not exist before our birth. After that, we start having attachment. Same way, our job and all that does not exist when we are a child. We start possessing all that. All the outer world is only momentary space of our life, which we think it is reality. And constantly we start thinking that to be reality. All the things Bhagavan says, the delusion. But even the delusion is good, he says. It wakes up our reality. Bhagavan says, these are just a cloud which just passes. But because of the sun, it is seen. If the sun is not there, it is not even seen. And how Bhagavan says, the reflection of the moon, and the moon looks like it is bright light, but actually it's a reflection on the moon. Same way, our mind, the frequency, that energy depletes from us, that frequency seem to be real for us because we think that is real, but it takes from the very source, conscious sovereignty, as our reality, and it takes the energy from there to project it as our reality. But actually, it is only draining us. If we unclutch from that, simply we'll be in the oneness with Paramashiva. And if we keep on doing the unconscious way of living, and Bhagavan says the root shaking starts happening and then we wake up. He says we are driving a car without a clutch and a brake and a steering wheel. How would that be? And we crash land and then we wake up. We should be scared of our life. How we are so unconscious and living only in the delusion and not knowing anything and simply trying to play with that in such an unconscious way, which wakes up such a traumatic way. Here Bhagavan says, even that, all that which wakes up also is not part of you. The very source, conscious sovereignty, is the very core, the quantum consciousness that who we are is the reality, and it is not touched. The clouds does not touch the sun. Same way the moon's reflection, which shows all the defects, but it does not touch the moon. All that which is existing is not part of us. It is like a passing cloud. It shows, but it is not us. The incompletion that we project, the perception that we have from our incompletions, our ideas, our opinions, our judgments, is not real who we are. That which is real, which is there before the birth, after the death, and in any of the states, the conscious sovereignty is our reality. And if we start functioning from that higher consciousness, Turiya space, Bhagavan says, Turiya Tita will simply happen as our reality. And that is the science all these Siddhas, Munis, Nayanamars, all of them, millions of them understood. And they function from that reality. And more we can experience that by even simple mission from outer world to inner space where Paramashiva resides. The more we shift that, we have the cognitive shift happening in us. Let's go to Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana are the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, all of them, all the great avatars who happened and manifested all these powers of Paramashiva. This is from Ramayana Ayodhya Kanta, Sarga 117, Sloka 9 and 10. Beautifully it is given how Anushuya, the Atre's wife, she was so much in chastity. That is chastity, how she was so integrated to conscious sovereignty as her reality. In every action, in every word, in every thought. So Saraswati, Lakshmi and Parvati decides to test her. They send her there her and ask them to test her. So they go, Trimurti goes to the Anushya and says, you have to be in nirvana and to feed all of us. From the power of chastity, she just changes all of them into a small baby. And in nirvana, she feeds all of them and gets back to her original state. but the Trimurti is as a baby. And Lakshmi, Saraswati and Parvati comes running as to what happened to their great, the Trimurtis. And then Anushya says, these are the babies here. And they say, okay, please get them back to function their work so that they can go back and we will bless you with a boon. And all of them blesses her with a boon. That is how Dattatreya was born with all the greatness of Vishnu, Shiva and Brahma, with all their weapons, with all three heads, as a child of Anushya. The greatest epic shows how the ultimate science was available, what we call now in a very limited way of test tube babies and all kinds of things. The ultimate possibility happens when we are in conscious sovereignty. Just every word of us becomes reality. Such powerful Anushya lived and showcased the ultimate oneness with Paramashiva. Bhagavan beautifully explains the experience of the space of Advaita, how he experienced with Arunagiri Yogeshwara.
You repent for it. You don't know why you did it. Same way, when lust takes over you, when greed takes over you, you do things which you can never logically justify even to yourself. But when authenticity takes over you, it will be 10,000 times more intense than fear taking over or greed taking over. It will be 10,000 times more intense, powerful. When fear takes over you, it's called panic attack. When greed takes over you, it's called restlessness. When authenticity takes over you, it is called satori. My sincere seeking that overpowered me, that's the right word I should use. I just felt, what is it I am seeking? Who is that me who is seeking? Who is that me that is deeply discontented about anything I see, hear? Who is that who is deeply discontented even about my own existence? Listen. Almost like, who am I who is so discontented about my own existence? Understand, all of you have discontentment about your own existence, but you never look into why, what, who is having that discontentment. You try to look in, if you get one Rasagulla, you forget that. You try to look in, if you get something else, you forget that. Very easily that question, why, what, who is so discontented, those questions are forgotten very easily. The person for whom the question has become the first and top priority, he is a seeker. It was such strong taking over. That's the right word I use. Taking over.
Now let's go to the Shakshi Pramana.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explains how the authenticity takes over a person when deep earning space. The awareness, the more you are aware of your inner space, the more awareness engulfs you and you become one with the self-effulgent, how you are in the deep samadhi, and simply you radiate the ultimate bliss. Bhagavan beautifully explained that experience, how he was so intense, not giving up on any of the outer reality, but intense to seek the earning, who is that who's experiencing all these greater truths, and understanding that conscious sovereignty is the only reality which exists in all the time as the quantum phase of Paramashiva, and simply residing in that becomes the pure space of oneness. Here, Shakshi Pramana, the Balasens is able to demonstrate beautifully the power of third eye reading.
So I would like to increase the challenge. And so I want to now put a piece of paper between you and that which you're going to read. Will you hold? And let me screen.
The lost,
I'm sorry. Okay.
the lost giants that promote the Australian wilderness. If you think modern Australian animals are very scary, spare a thought for the I don't know what.
Wow, that's great. I'm impressed. So your talents seem to be developing and increasing with time.
It's actually not a talent, it's a mystical power. This third eye.
So beautiful how she's able to read beyond the paper and beautifully into the space of distance reading, of just experience conscious sovereignty has her reality. Each one of us have to experience the conscious sovereignty individually as our reality. The enlightened space is for each one of us to experience our Paramashiva space and manifest as powers. Now, if you have an eye band that is shown here, that will be really good. If you have the Jnananjan in the Kantamala, the very DNA of Bhagavan, you can apply in your third eye and your temple, which starts activating your frontal lobe. And if you don't have, you can apply the Basma and Kumkum from any of the temples that Bhagavan says. If you don't have that, then you can apply the turmeric which detox the whole thing. If you can set up the camera like this, you can share the video how you manifested the powers of Paramashiva to the world, showcasing the world how Paramashiva is the very source of your reality. Each one of us can manifest all these powers, and it is the very nature of us to manifest. It is not superpowers, actually, Bhagavan says. It is the very nature how we exist. That is why even a kid of 5 years or 7 years or 8 years, Prahlada, Markandeya, Dhruva, all of them, Nachiketa, all of them, including Avayar, all of them were small kids when they manifested all these greatest powers. Here, we are going to have the books at a distance today. You keep it at 5 feet to first, and then you can move it further. If you have a partner, you can ask them to keep something else also. Make sure when you're tying your eye bands, there's no light passing through your senses. We think only the 5 senses is what we manifest as our life. But our life is much more than 5 senses. 5 senses is utility. A dead body also has a 5 senses, but it doesn't recognize it. A baby also has 5 senses, but doesn't use it. The 5 senses is not the ultimate. Bhagavan says the conscious sovereignty is the ultimate, how we exist. The very core of us, which is teaching the 5 senses, reminding the 5 senses, even reminding us who we are, what we are, and how we are, and each and every moment is being manifested as our reality from the very core. That is what Bhagavan says. You start manifesting powers, you will recognize that 5 senses is not required except for the utility purpose. Same way, put away your gadgets, put away your thoughts, and completely surrender to Paramashiva. Keep the book 5 feet away from you, take any pages and keep few books, and come back and tie your eye bands completely so that you have no light passing through your eyes. And whatever Paramashiva shows, write down. Do not judge. We take 5 years to learn jumping or skipping. It is not the baby walks in 1 year, it starts jumping. It takes 5 years of a child to jump and skip. We were patient then to manifest the powers. Even eating, we took about 1 to 1.5 years to swallow solid and chew on solid. Everything took us time to understand. We take 25 years to become a doctor or an engineer or an architect or a lawyer and much more. Here, these great powers sitting with a cup of coffee and sitting with a cup of chocolate milk, enjoying the presence of Bhagavan, falling into the oneness with Paramashiva, you are manifesting. This is the highest grace that Bhagavan has given us through the Shakti Pada and Shakti Nipada. So let's get into the deep meditation of the Samadhi Bhagavan himself initiated us into. Sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Visualize Paramashiva, the beautiful Paramashiva Parashakti with her beautiful eyes, 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands to represent the awareness, alive that they are. If you visualize yourself like that, you will be so alive with all your body language as Paramashiva, merging your body into Paramashiva. And that is the Tyaga, unclutch from everything. Every night, however worst we had a life, we are able to unclutch, or however good we are able to unclutch and go into the deep sleep and the dream state, which has no idea of those things which are happening in our life. Same way, you can do it right now. Consciously decide. Thoughts are not my criteria. I am conscious sovereignty. My inner space, I'm going to hold Paramashiva and only listen to his words inside me now. The whole satsang, replay it inside your inner space and hold the beautiful oneness space with Paramashiva, entangling with him in quantum space. The more you realize you are quantum, you are not the body only, you are not the mind only. Mind is a processor, it does not exist. If you create it for your purpose to put you into different states, it is available for you. But otherwise, it is not a requirement. How you put away your gadgets, you have to put away your mind. Now the gadgets has become one more mind. We have like two minds. Put away your gadgets except for recording and clearly define yourself. I am going to be sitting only with Paramashiva. Paramashiva is more sitting with us than we sitting with him, waiting each one who is manifesting and running and showering on them with all the boons and auspiciousness. So entangle and continuously chant in such a deep oneness space that Jnana Vairagya Bhakti, melting away into his presence by chanting his name. That is the most beautiful space, and just merging into him, being the Paramashiva, Parashakti, Devi herself, and feeling the fullness inside your heart and manifesting the powers of clairvoyance. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya. Write down everything. At the end of the session, we will verify all the details. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So beautiful. Open your eyes and take your eye bands off. Go and verify whatever you have seen through your third eye. You can verify it and check if it is matching exactly. If you got few words correct, at least 5 words in a row as correct, you have manifested the powers fully. If you just got some of the words correct in the page, and if you have got enlightened book itself, living enlightened book, that's wonderful. Those messages are just for you. Bhagavan not only makes us do these power manifestation to read from a 5 feet distance, it is not a big deal, but he clears the inner space for the 5 senses to drop all the incompletion so that we can bring more auspiciousness and abundance in our self and our life. Bhagavan showers in our life again and again, but we fail to recognize it. When we manifest these powers, we start recognizing our own space, highest reality that exists in us. He is showing us how we can experience the great oneness with Paramashiva. Again and again, he is showing us, hey, we are the lion, not the calf, not that little calf that we are, we think, but the lion itself. Each one of us, each and every power manifestation, he reminds us. And again, we shrink ourselves with all the incompletion. And when we let go that and look in, Paramashiva, Bhagavan himself is inside us as our own self, as our own reality, guiding us in such an incomparable compassion that he resides in us and simply manifests all our reality, meticulously taking care of each and everything in our life. No one can even match up to that extent, to every instant, to everything that what happens. He simply manifests and takes care even before we even think about it. That is the power of Shakti Nipada, simply starts happening in the bioenergy and starts happening in the muscle memory also as our reality. Conscious sovereignty as our life is the most delightful space, living and enjoying the ultimate. How the Gopikas were able to create each one their own Krishna. The Krishna he ran away and he had to go, and Gopikas have to realize their own self, and they were stuck in a place where they had no idea. Even Radha was not mentioned in any scriptures. She was left to realize the Krishna in her, and each of them with the Vairagya, Jnana Vairagya Bhakti, understanding Krishna is ultimate consciousness, not a physical form. When they started meditating the conscious sovereignty as their inner space, they were able to create each one their own Krishna to enjoy forever. Each one of us can experience the ultimate when we understand that conscious sovereignty is our very own self, very own reality. And that is the reason we came down to celebrate Paramashiva and all the auspiciousness and abundance that's flow through us as his prasada, enjoying that and living as Brahmanya Bahuputratam, the favorite inheritance of the cosmos. Living as that ultimate, always in his presence, is the best blessing, best moments of our life. So we'll have one more cycle. You can verify, then you can put away those books and have some more new books open. If you want to do the sound also, fine, at a distance. Somebody can speak in a long distance which you can't hear, and you can ask the partner to write down whatever they speak, and after that you can call up and really whatever Bhagavan reveals, you can ask them if it was the same thing. So if you want to do with the sound, that is also fine. Even if you have like a Google or YouTube where you can play something video which you have never heard with the mute, and after that you can write down what was in it and verify if it is the sound that is heard in that video is the same thing what you have written down. We can do distance sound, distance seeing, and if you're doing distance seeing, please wear the eye band in such a way there is no light in your eyes, because light is something which disturbs you and make you think that eyes are the ones which are giving you any results. There is something more than all these five senses, Paramashiva himself, who manifests every moment in our life. Understanding that, the higher reality again and again, that makes us conscious sovereignty, becoming one with Paramashiva, continuously merging into the space of Paramashiva. So let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Put away your thoughts, put away your gadgets, unless gadget is used only for the purpose of recording. And simply dissolve into Paramashiva, his nama. His words are mantra that Bhagavan himself said in the satsang. Every word that he utters is a mantra. And chanting the Mahavakya, you lose your body consciousness because you are in such a bliss. Where is the question of remembering our body? Bhagavan beautifully says, if you wear a hat that fits, you forget your head. If you wear a belt that fits your hip, you forget your hip. If you wear a shoe that fits, you forget your legs. Same way, when you chant the Mahavakya, you forget your body, you forget everything. You merge into the oneness with Paramashiva and manifest as your conscious sovereignty. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya intensely with a deep listening and enjoying the whole presence of Bhagavan, manifesting all the auspiciousness and abundance for the power of clairvoyance. Let's start.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham.
Let the Amrita pour. Let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda.
So beautiful. You can open your eye bands and verify again. If you have done sound, call up your friend and ask whatever you have written down is the same thing. And if you've taken some pages and done a clairvoyance of a distance reading through your third eye, you can verify it authentically whether it's the same thing you have written down. If you have written down exactly the same thing, you have manifested the powers. If you just experience the Kundalini energy or the heat or you feel the vibration, that's beautiful. Bhagavan says when the time and space merges and entangles, you are in conscious sovereignty. When only the time is happening and getting cluttered, then it is our delusion. And delusion is such that we constantly are in the struggle. And it goes to again in a different state and comes back, but delusion gets even worse, then it wakes us up. And when the Vairagya comes at that time, we catch up and have the Jnana Vairagya Bhakti, the intelligence to catch the Vairagya, the change that is happening in us as conscious sovereignty and catching the Bhagavan's lotus feet. Then it is the intelligence, Bhakti, which flowers into the ultimate conscious reality, sovereignty as our reality. So let's share these powerful cognition to the world. More and more you write down in your words. That is when you're listening 100%. When you're listening to others, you're just having a 10%, 20% maximum listening. Shravana, Manana, Nidhityasana. Nidhityasana is living and sharing your words to the world, in words, in action, and in your thoughts, in every angle, having Paramashiva in your inner space, constantly living only Paramashiva in your inner space. Guru himself has come down for us to manifest our reality, holding him in our inner space continuously and chanting the Mahavakya continuously. Ram Surat Kumar used to chant all the time Ramanama, all the time. And Sharada Devi, every day she used to chant 1 lakh times. And for every person she initiated, if they don't chant, she will sit and chant. They chanted the Mahavakya continuously. It became Ajaba Ajaba inside them. Even if they stop chanting, the inner voice of the chant will be heard in them. So there is no thoughts because the continuously chant is going on. All these great truth that Bhagavan has blessed us, the ultimate space that which is priceless that he has given us, surrender all that to Bhagavan's lotus feet and the powerful cognition, power manifestation, which will take us much more deeper into the Paramashiva space, and with a deep earning and the space of oneness with Paramashiva, making Paramashiva as our conscious sovereignty, as our reality. And thanking Bhagavan and sharing it in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation or in your social media and tag it to your friends and family. It just takes 5 minutes of your time. And if you see the $sign, thank you so much. Many of you are offering to Kailasha Bhagavan's lotus feet. Thank you so much. And please go ahead and share more and contribute more and more. Even 1 unit of your currency, you are building Kailasha in your inner space. Every dollar you spend on the outer world, you like the brand. Every dollar you spend on Kailasha, you're building your inner brand of Kailasha. So thanking Bhagavan, thanking each one of you here. Let's end this session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much and see you after the next satsang in the Kailash Courtyard Manifesting Power session. Thank you, Nithyananda.